students, welcome to Mrs. Salsabiilaa's class. Today we will be talking about narrative text. Have you ever heard of narrative text? A narrative text is a type of text that tells a story or describes a sequence of events. The purpose of a narrative text is to entertain or inform the reader by presenting a series of events in a coherent and engaging way. So, have you understood narrative text? Let's move on to the next material. Elements like main idea and author's purpose are key to understanding the story as well, and we can enjoy the meaning of the story more. First of all, we have to know what is a main idea. The main idea of a story is the central idea or concept that the author wants to portray through the narrative, characters, and settings. The main idea can either be explicit, which means it's directly stated in the story, or it can be implied, which means it's not directly stated in the story. It's important not to confuse the main idea with the main topic or the central theme of the story. How to find the main idea? The first is identify the topic. Read the passage thoroughly and determine the topic. This is about understanding what the passage is about in general terms. The second is summarize the passage. After reading the passage in one sentence, condensing its essence into a brief statement. Third is look at the first and last sentences of the passage. Often, the main idea is stated in the first or last sentence. Pay attention to these sentences to see if they encapsulate the main idea. Watch out for transition words that might indicate a shift to the main idea. And four is look for repetition of ideas. If the passage is complex, look for repeated words, phrases, or related ideas. This repetition often points to the main idea. Now we have to understand what is the author's purpose. The author's purpose in a narrative text is the reason or intent behind why the author wrote the story. This purpose can vary and may include, but is not limited to entertain, to teach, to inform, to inspire, to criticize. In a narrative text, the author's purpose is often reflected in the theme, characters, plot, and setting of the story. Understanding the author's purpose helps readers grasp the message being conveyed and appreciate the work on a deeper level. Try to exercise. I have a picture and here is a woman. Who is she? Yes, she is Laitenia Belaijanda. We will understand narrative text through Laitenia Belaijanda. We will follow the text narrative and go step by step to answer questions about the text.
Laitenia Belaijanda, she is a young environmentalist. Her age is 19 years old. She is a health and human sciences student at the University of Shield in the UK and an Indonesian youth environmental activist. She felt lucky to be raised in a family that values the integrity of nature and is environmentally conscious and active. Because of this, she has been exposed to and involved in climate action from quite a young age. Growing up in that space has inspired her to do as much as she can for the earth and its people. Descending from the Dayak people of Borneo, she is also passionate in supporting the development of local and customary communities in Kalimantan, Indonesia. She is especially interested in helping to build their adaptive capacity in facing both health and environmental crises. Her parents have always been involved in working with communities in Indonesia and their environment, so she grew up with an understanding that these are two important things to protect and support. She was only 7 years old when she erst volunteered in a community project to clean the Siliwangi River in Bogor with a respected climate activist, Hapsoro. 9 years old when she felt proud to go on a IELD trip with her classmates and teacher to visit her mom's ois and learn about her work in forestry. 12 when she was one of the chosen students in my elementary school to feature in a television series about recycling waste. Her interest in environmental causes sparked from a very young age, but she relied more on taking opportunities that came her way, rather than creating them myself. She believes everybody deserves to live a healthy, happy life. As a health student, I want to give people the opportunity to make healthy choices and have healthy lives. And as a young environmentalist, she wants to ensure that people have equal access to a clean and sustainable home. As a planetary health learner, she understands that it should not be a choice between the two. There is an underlying connection between human and environmental health, where if one is not healthy then neither can be. We need to be illuminating these connections between health and the environment because the solution lies in the heart of where the two meet.
What is the main idea of paragraph 1? Laetitia Belajandam is a young environmental activist and a student in the UK who has been passionate about environmental issues from a young age, thanks to her environmentally conscious family. Step-by-step answers. Step 1. Read the paragraph thoroughly. Step 2. Identify key points. Laetitia Belajandam is a young environmentalist and a student. She grew up in an environmentally conscious family. Her upbringing inspired her to engage in climate action. Step 3. Summarize the main idea. Laetitia Belajandam is a young environmental activist inspired by her environmentally conscious family to take climate action from a young age. What does paragraph 2 talk about? Paragraph 2 discusses Laetitia's heritage as a Dayak from Borneo and her commitment to supporting local and indigenous communities in Kalimantan, Indonesia. It highlights her focus on building these communities' capacity to handle health and environmental challenges, influenced by her parents' work. Step-by-step answers. Step 1. Read the paragraph thoroughly. Step 2. Identify the key points. Laetitia is of Dayak descent. She supports local communities in Kalimantan, focus on helping these communities with health and environmental crises. Her parents' involvement influenced her understanding. Step 3. Summarize. Paragraph 2 discusses Laetitia's heritage and her commitment to supporting local communities in Kalimantan, influenced by her parents' work. What makes Laetitia grow up with an understanding that environment and health are important? Laetitia grew up with an understanding that the environment and health are important because her parents were actively involved in community and environmental work in Indonesia. This upbringing exposed her to these issues from a young age. Step-by-step answer is Step 1. Identify the relevant text. Her parents have always been involved in working with communities in Indonesia and their environment. So she grew up with an understanding that these are two important things to protect and support. Step 2. Extract the key point. Laetitia's parents' involvement in community and environmental work made her understand the importance of environment and health. What does Laetitia want to protect? Laetitia wants to protect both human health and environment, emphasizing the interconnectedness between the two. Step-by-step answers. Step 1. Identify the relevant text. She wants to ensure that people have equal access to a clean and sustainable home. There is an underlying connection connection between human and environmental health, where if one is not healthy, then neither can be. Step 2. Extract the key point. Litania wants to protect both human health and the environment. What is the author's purpose in writing this text? The author's purpose in writing this text is to highlight Litania Belajandam's background, her passion for environmental activism, her effort to support local communities, and her belief in the connection between environmental and human health. Step-by-step answer. Step 1. Consider the entire text content and themes. The text provides detailed information about Litania's background, her environmental activism, her heritage, her upbringing, and her goals. Step 2. Identify the key purpose. The authors aims to highlight Litania Belajandam's background, her environmental activism, her effort to support local communities, and her belief in the interconnectedness of environmental and human health. That's the explanation of narrative text, which is the topic of our discussion today. Hopefully,